Have you ever stared at a picture of the Great Pyramids or the Colosseum and thought, why don't we build things like that anymore? We have advanced technology, incredible machinery, and a deep understanding of physics. Yet we can't seem to replicate the marvels of the ancient world. Is it because the techniques were lost? Or is there a more complex, perhaps even a forbidden reason why these ancient structures were banned from being copied? Today, we're diving deep into the mysteries of ancient construction to uncover the truth. Let's start with one of the most iconic structures on Earth, the Great Pyramid of Giza. For centuries, the prevailing theory was that it was built using an army of laborers dragging massive stone blocks up giant ramps. But the sheer scale of the project makes this idea almost unbelievable. We're talking about 2.3 million blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons, placed with astonishing precision. Modern engineers have tried to calculate the logistics, and the numbers are staggering. It would have required a level of manpower and organization that seems almost superhuman. This has led to some fascinating alternative theories. One of the most compelling is that the Egyptians didn't just carve and lift these stones, they cast them in place. French materials scientist Joseph Davidovits proposed that the pyramid blocks are not carved natural stone, but an early form of concrete made from limestone, clay, lime, and water. He called this geopolymer concrete. Essentially, the Egyptians would have mixed this slurry on site and poured it into molds, much like we use concrete today. This would explain the incredible precision of the blocks and how they fit together so perfectly, with joints so tight you can't even slide a piece of paper between them. If this is true, why did we lose this technology? Why was it seemingly banned from history? The answer might not be a conspiracy, but a matter of practicality and secrecy. The formula for this geopolymer would have been a state secret of immense value, equivalent to a modern-day military technology. The knowledge would have been passed down orally from master to apprentice, guarded jealously by the priestly and architect classes. When the Egyptian civilization declined, and new powers with different building methods rose, this specialized knowledge simply faded away. There was no grand conspiracy to ban it. It was just lost to the sands of time as the culture that created it vanished. The ban was a natural consequence of a civilization's collapse and the secrecy surrounding its greatest achievements. Now, let's journey from the sands of Egypt to the heart of the Roman Empire. Roman concrete, or opus caementitium, is another architectural marvel that we struggle to replicate. Structures like the Pantheon and the Colosseum have stood for 2,000 years, enduring earthquakes, weathering, and the passage of time. The Pantheon's dome, still the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome, is a testament to its incredible strength and durability. In contrast, modern concrete structures often begin to crumble after just 50 to 100 years. What was the Roman secret? For a long time, we knew they used a mix of volcanic ash, called pozzolana, lime, and water. But a recent discovery has shed new light on its miraculous properties. Scientists studying ancient Roman seawalls found unusual white mineral chunks within the concrete, which they called lime clasts. For years, these were thought to be signs of sloppy mixing, but it turns out they were intentional. When tiny cracks form in the concrete, water seeps in and reacts with these lime clasts. This reaction creates a new calcium-rich solution that recrystallizes and fills the cracks, effectively healing the concrete from within. It's a self-healing material. So why did we stop using this incredible formula? Was it banned? The story is similar to that of the Egyptian pyramids. The formula for Roman concrete was not written down in a single, simple recipe book. It was a craft, with regional variations depending on the local volcanic ash and materials available. The knowledge was held by specialized builders and engineers. After the fall of the Western Roman Empire in the 5th century AD, Europe plunged into a period of fragmentation and decline. The large-scale infrastructure projects that required Roman concrete ceased. the complex trade networks that supplied the specific volcanic ash from regions like Pozzuoli near Naples collapsed. Without the demand and without the supply chain, the craft of making this superior concrete died out. Builders in the Middle Ages reverted to simpler, more localized techniques. It wasn't that the knowledge was actively suppressed or banned. The social and economic systems that supported it were gone. The secret wasn't lost in a vault, it was lost in the chaos of a collapsing empire. We are only now, with advanced modern science, rediscovering and reverse engineering these incredible ancient technologies. Let's look at another example. The intricate stonework of the Incas in places like Machu Picchu and Sacsayhuaman. The massive polygonal stones fit together so perfectly without any mortar that it's mind-boggling. Some stones have more than 12 sides, each cut to match its neighbor with laser-like precision. How did they do it without modern tools? Theories range from painstakingly grinding the stones together over months to more esoteric ideas involving sound frequencies or even a plant-based substance that could soften stone. The softening the stone. Theory suggests the Incas possessed a liquid derived from certain plants that could temporarily turn the surface of a rock into a malleable clay-like substance. This would allow them to mold the stones to fit perfectly before they rehardened. Spanish explorers even wrote accounts of hearing about such a substance from the natives, though no definitive proof has ever been found. If such a method existed, why would it vanish? Again, it comes down to cultural collapse. When the Spanish conquistadors arrived in the 16th century, they brought war and disease that decimated the Inca population and systematically dismantled their empire. The specialized knowledge held by Inca architects and engineers, likely a closely guarded secret passed down through generations, would have been one of the first casualties. The Spanish had no interest in preserving Inca building techniques. They were focused on imposing their own culture and religion. The knowledge wasn't banned in a formal decree, it was eradicated along with the civilization that created it. The ban was the brutal consequence of conquest. So, the real reason why these ancient structures were seemingly banned from being copied is not some grand conspiracy or a deliberate suppression of knowledge by a shadowy group. The truth is a collection of more human and historical factors. First, secrecy. These building techniques were state-of-the-art technology for their time. They were guarded secrets that gave empires a military and cultural edge. This knowledge was never meant for mass consumption. Second, cultural collapse. When the Egyptian, Roman, and Incan empires fell, the complex social, economic, and political systems needed to support these massive construction projects disappeared. The trade routes broke down, the centralized authority vanished, and the specialized guilds of builders were scattered. And third, the loss of oral tradition. Much of this knowledge was never written down in detail. It was a craft passed from master to apprentice through hands-on training. When that chain of transmission was broken by war, plague, or societal upheaval, the knowledge was lost forever. What we perceive as a ban is actually the shadow cast by the fall of great civilizations. We can't copy them not because we're forbidden, but because the unique combination of materials, knowledge, and societal structure that made them possible no longer exists. Today, we are like archaeological detectives, piecing together clues from the materials themselves to rediscover the lost formulas of the ancient world. It's a humbling reminder that progress isn't always a straight line, and that our ancestors possessed a wisdom that we are still struggling to understand. Thanks for joining me on this journey through architectural history. If you found this as fascinating as I do, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the mysteries of the past. Let me know in the comments which ancient wonder you find most intriguing. See you next time.